Hey, welcome back to Lick of the Week videos. We're still in a beginner series of videos looking specifically at left-hand ornaments. And the first video looked at slides. The second video looked at hammer-ons. And in this video I'd like to take a look at push-offs and pull-offs. Push-off and pull-off is basically a left-hand ornament that gives you pretty much the same sound, but slightly different movement of the fingers of the left hand will allow you to do either a push off or a pull off. So let's take it pull off first, and we'll take a look at that. I'm going to see if I can zoom in the camera here for the left hand like I've been doing before, and see if we can get a better look. Make sure I stay in the camera shot. Let's take a look at a common pull off. Now, just the sound of a pull-off, I'll do a pull-off on the 3rd string 2nd fret, which is, again, a common place to do a pull-off. And if you notice, the same thing happens with a pull-off that happens with a hammer-on. You can get one or more notes with a pull-off. Typically, you're going to hear a standard version of a pull-off will be hearing 2 notes with one motion of your picking hand. So I pick the 3rd string with my thumb, but you will hear 2 notes. Here's the thumb note, and then the pull-off note is actually a different note. So what I'm fretting here is the 3rd string 2nd fret, which is an A note, but you're going to hear a G note right after that. Now, going back to the previous videos, any kind of left-hand ornament will have a time value or duration. So you can make pull-offs, 1/8 notes, 1/4 notes, 1/2 notes, 30-second notes. It just depends on how long you let that note sustain before you decide to release it. Now, the motion itself of a pull-off is pretty simple. You have the note fretted under your finger, and then you just let basically the string kind of slide out from under the flesh of your finger. I'm going to try to zoom in as close as I can and try to stay in the camera shot. Hopefully this won't be too fuzzy looking. And again, I'm not way back here, which gives you kind of a dead sound, and I'm not directly on the fret, which gives you a muffled sound. I'm somewhere from halfway up to directly behind the fret. I like to stay closer to this area behind the fret than I do back here. Seems like I get a snappier sound. And playing on the nails, which is something I mentioned in the first video, sometimes using the edge of your fingernail can give you a little extra snappy sound. Let me zoom in just a little too, that way maybe it's not so pixelated. Now you can do a pull-off anywhere on the fingerboard on any string, and you can play more than one note. You can do multiple pull-offs. This would be a 2-note pull-off. 3rd string, 3rd fret. So I'm pulling off the 3rd string, 2nd fret to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and then pulling off again from 2nd fret to open, so I can get a B flat, an A, and a G note with just one motion of the right hand. So all I did to play this note was to play that note with my thumb, or you can use a finger. But you hear 3 distinct notes, even though I only played the string one time with my thumb. You can even do a 3-note pull-off. This is B, B flat, and A. So, you know, there's a lot of cool things you can do with pull-offs. Now, I want to show you some common places in bluegrass banjo that you will hear pull-offs. And again, you can do pull-offs anywhere. You can do a pull-off on any string in any location, but I'm just going to show you some common places to do pull-offs. The 4th string at the 2nd fret is a common place. Also, the 3rd to the 2nd fret of the 4th string is a common place to do a pull-off. The 3rd string 2nd fret back to the 3rd string 2nd fret. So the 3rd fret to the 2nd string, 3rd fret to the second fret of the third string is a common pull-off area. The third string from the second fret to open is a common pull-off. The first fret of the second string, the bottom string or the first string, and from the third fret of the first string to the second fret. Those are just really common locations that you'll hear players do pull-offs, especially beginners, down in this area of the fingerboard. And now, what's the difference between that and a push-off? Well, the pull-off involves pulling down and away from the string. So if I said do a pull-off on the third string, second fret, by saying pull-off, you would pull this way, down and away. No matter what string or what fret I was pulling off from, the motion of a pull-off is down and away. And you just let the string kind of slip out from under the flesh of your finger or from under your fingernail. So you notice I'm pulling down and away. A push-off will give you the same note and basically the same sound, but you're pushing up and away. So I can do the same notes on the same fret locations that we did before. Instead of a pull-off, I can do a push-off. And let me zoom in some more. Let me see if I can get as close as I can. Try to stay in the camera shot. So here's a push-off on the third string, second fret. I'm pushing up and away. And here's a pull-off. Push-off, pull-off, push-off, pull-off, push-off. And listen, there's no difference in the sound that you get. They sound exactly the same. So when would you choose a pull-off versus a push-off? That's a common question I'll get asked maybe by a student. They'll say, okay, John, what should I do here, a pull-off or a push-off? I'll say, well, whatever you feel like doing, and it depends sometimes on what's coming next. So if you're trying to link a push-off or a pull-off to another lick or another set of notes that come after it, sometimes common sense would dictate, well, it's better that I do a push-off here because it helps me get to the next section of the tune or the lick I'm trying to play. So some versions, like the version of Cripple Creek that you hear Earl play, the second half of Cripple Creek, has a pull-off and a hammer-on in that version, and a slide. So it's using all three of the ornaments that we've talked about so far. But you could very well do a push-off. Which would be pushing, you know, through and up this direction, or a pull-off would be this direction. So pretty much that's all there is to pull-offs and push-offs. Same sound, different movement of the finger. And again, you can play it on any fret, anywhere. You can do multiple pull-offs on one string across multiple strings, but it always gives you that characteristic sound, and it's an ornament very similar to hammer-on in that you only have to pick a string typically one time here, and you can get more than one note to result from that movement. So I could do a first string, 5th fret, and then play that string open, and I'll have a G and a D note back to back. But I only played one time with my thumb. So it's a very effective left-hand technique or ornament that can help you emphasize melody or just spice up what you're already doing. I appreciate you watching the video. We'll see you next time.